Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Oh, man, we all about to talk facts. I have got the scoop. What's going on, Nisi? What's going on? Purple Soul. No other trades, but I didn't expect the one that we got. I mean, and not only did I not expect it, I don't even understand it. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction that the Cowboys, they just had to do something. What's going on, Purple Soul? What's going on? What's this say here? Lord Nova, what's going on? What's going on? All right, as everybody comes in, let's have a great discussion tonight. Oh, man. This trade, I told y'all earlier today, this trade that the Cowboys made for Jonathan Mingo makes absolutely no sense. It is blatantly obvious that this team is in some sort of rebuild. Now, I showed you the article today. Rumor has it is that the reason why the Cowboys picked him up is because he was high on their draft board, I guess in 2023. And they wound up getting Schoonmaker. And someone said it today. I hope he comes back. One of the guests said, someone said in the chat today, if he was number 2 on the Dallas Cowboys draft board, if he was a second-round draft pick on the Dallas Cowboys draft board, that tells us everything we need to know about this team. Horrific. What makes it even more horrific, y'all, is when you compare him side by side to Ryan Flournoy. They're the same wide receiver, and I would dare say Flournoy is better. Why in the world? I'm telling y'all about this team. This aggravates me about this team. We do poor player development. What are we doing? Freddie, I think it's Freddie. Freddie says today, maybe because Ryan Flournoy caught a pass from Dak Prescott and fumbled it out of bounds. Maybe they don't have any faith in Flournoy. One play? This is the perfect opportunity right now. You could be giving Ryan Flournoy, you could let him start right now. Third wide receiver, easy. Hey, Ryan, we're going to let you start. It's going to be you, CD, and Tolbert. You're the third wide receiver this week. Is he that bad? Is he that bad? Because I got problems if you're telling me he's that bad. Because now you're going to have to tell me, what have you seen from Jonathan Mingo this season? What have you seen that would tell you that Jonathan Mingo has been burning it up out there? This is crazy. This is crazy talk, y'all. This is crazy. And if this is a next year move, then this still doesn't make sense. Because Ryan Flournoy, isn't that why he's on the team? Isn't that why he's not the starter? Because he's a next year move? And we saw how Ryan Flournoy get down in the preseason. Man, Ryan Flournoy got down in the preseason. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's almost like, I don't know. Man, you help me out, Nisi. Maybe if Paxton Lynch was still out there somewhere, the Cowboys would be trying to get him too. Maybe if Johnny Manziel was out there, still could play, the Cowboys will still be trying to get him too. I guess because they had him high on the draft board, they're going to go, oh, we didn't get it the first time, so we'll go back and get it again. This is crazy work, y'all. This is crazy work. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. So if we're saying, and let me pull this up. These numbers, I don't know. These guys are smarter than me. I mean, that's all I can tell you. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're smarter than me. I'm just showing you what, I'm just showing you what does the stats say. So we already looked at their measurables. And in actuality, I mean, Mingo's about 18 pounds heavier. He runs a 4.46. Flournoy runs a 4.44. I mean, they're almost identical in a lot of ways. 1.62, 1.61. 218 versus 202. And if you look, I've already showed this earlier today. What made Jonathan Mingo rise in the draft was not his stats in college. It was his performance at the combine. And Flournoy's performance at the combine is almost identical. And he was a 6th round draft pick. And you gave up a 4th round draft pick for Jonathan Mingo? Y'all can tell me anything y'all want to. I said maybe Jerry Jones wants to win next year. I don't believe it. Lord Nova, overpaid. 100%. A 4th was too high. Laughing out loud. And Samuel Porter, I agree. Nisi said, who's on the scouting team? Jerry's grandsons? I can't even believe it's them. Where's Will McClay? I don't know. Jerry says the buck stops with him. So I guess the buck stopped with him. Lord Nova, look at this. You hitting it right on the head. I'm just showing you what's readily available right here. Y'all help me out. Y'all help me out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he got drafted in 2023. Y'all help me out. What did the Cowboys see? What did they see? Did he tear it up again? Did he tear it up with the Carolina Panthers this year? I mean, aren't we in week 9? He's a 2nd round draft pick. You can't beat out anybody? And make no mistake about it. I'm not hating on Jonathan Mingo. But this is what these teams do. They put you in a position to where you have to honestly analyze. And in your honest analyzation, I mean, you have to call it what it is. Now, if they go get Jonathan Mingo and they're going to give up a 7th round draft pick, oh, okay, cool. But even then I'm questioning it because you got Ryan Flournoy. This bothers me. This bothers me, Cowboy fans. It bothers me because it allows the Joneses to continue to be lazy. Because I'm telling y'all, if this kid comes in and he catches 1 touchdown, don't let him catch 3 touchdowns over the next few games. The Dallas Cowboys will be saying, we got our number 2. We got exactly who we wanted. No, you're lazy. Go in the doggone draft and go get a number 1 wide receiver. Spend the 1st round draft pick on a wide receiver. Stop this nonsense. By all intents and purposes, unless the unicorn Cooper Rush, whom these Dak-hating, Dallas Cowboy-loving fans say that he can take us to the promised land. I've already been seeing it all over the internet. Cooper Rush. Okay. You're going to see what Cooper Rush looked like without a defense. And I'm going to give Zimmer some credit. Zimmer going to probably try to rise to the occasion. But they just don't have the horses. They don't have the horses like they had when Quinn was here. Even though Quinn didn't have linebackers, Quinn had a better scheme that fit the type of players the Dallas Cowboys have right now. Okay, watch the first time they get behind. Watch what they do. Now, watch. I'm going to tell you, Mike McCarthy is going to give us some fool's gold, though, because Mike McCarthy is going to take his butt out there and he's going to give a heavy dose of Rico Dowdle, which is what he should have been doing with Dak Prescott, or a heavy dose of Rico Dowdle. And we're going to see Cooper Rush. He's going to look pretty good because they're going to protect him. See, let me help some folk out. See, there's a reason why you don't take a Lamborghini and drive it through town. See, if you take a Lamborghini and drive it through town, you're going to be trying to do everything that it can do. And unfortunately, you're not going to even barely be able to get that Lamborghini out of second gear. And then if you put somebody in you put them in a Hyundai Scoop and you drive it around town, because that's pretty much what it's made for. Somebody might say, man, this Hyundai drive better than this. It drives better than the Lamborghini. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You just don't have that thing on the freeway. See, Mike McCarthy, he got poor play design. He won't utilize what he has. So with Dak Prescott, see, people don't want to admit the fact, but I'm about to speak facts on Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy has been making Dak Prescott look like absolute trash. Poor play design. Poor situational football. Won't utilize what he has. And you got Dak Prescott out here working with all this nonsense. False starts, lack of concentration. That's the coach. Lack of attention to detail. Now watch what he gonna do for Cooper Rush, y'all. He gonna dumb it all the way down. Cooper Rush, don't do a lot of reading at the line. We got the exact play we want. This is your go-to man. Second read, hit it. First one out there, second one, hit it. Watch what they do with Cooper Rush. They gonna dumb this thing so far down, and they gonna hit that run game, and it's gonna be fool's gold, because you're gonna be saying, wow, we could have been doing this with Dak Prescott. Maybe Cooper Rush is the mythological unicorn that everybody's saying he is. Meanwhile, he's barely making $5 million, a career backup. Nobody has wanted him anytime he's hit free agency. But for us, he's the best kept secret since sliced bread. Stop it. Sliced bread is not a secret. I'm telling y'all, this Jonathan Mingo thing stinks. It stinks. Samuel, hey, welcome to the channel, brother. You've been here already. I called it already. Planned demolition. You don't blow it up, because if you blow it up, everybody get mad. So what do? You implode it. Oh, let me give you another fancy name. It's called organic tanking. That's what Mike Fisher calls it. Even though Fisher says that the Cowboys didn't plan on losing this season. I don't understand how you don't plan on losing this season and you don't bring back none of the talent from last year. You don't do no trades. You don't do no free agency. And you don't give the coach a deal. All the coaches on 1-year deals. You're going to use all of these guys who've been backups for the last 2 or 3 years, all these young guys, and you telling me you intend to win? Stop it. Stop it. There's no way you intended to win. Mike McCarthy, you expecting Mike McCarthy to coach a team that has mediocre talent, young guys. You're telling me that you're saying you got full confidence in Mike McCarthy, but he has no deal. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Nobody believes you, Jerry. Nobody believes you. And this move is a typical Dallas Cowboy move. What did he do it for? Did he do it so he could say, because I know, because y'all know what happens. The Cowboys wasn't busy at the trade deadline. Everybody destroyed them. Oh, let's do something. Let us do something at the trade deadline. Mingo was on our list. What? Mark says, don't want to glaze that trade, but if this opens it up for possibly a move to the slot for CD, that would leave you next year with Mingo, Tolbert, and Flournoy to play outside with a rotation. You know why I don't like it, Mark? I mean, this is not my team. I can't tell anybody what to do. I'm just making suggestions. You see what you just said? Now, I want you to see what you just said. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with what you said because you're giving a solution. There's nothing wrong with what you just said. But look at what you just said. CD, Mingo, Tolbert, and Flournoy. This allows the Dallas Cowboys to be lazy in the draft. You got my spidey senses tingling. Hold on a second. Let me see something for a moment. So, Mark, I appreciate your comment, but let me tell you why what you just said is exactly what I don't want to happen. It's what I don't want to happen. You know why? Feast your eyes on this. This is what I want to happen. I don't even know who this is. Tataroa McMillan, number 1 ranked wide receiver coming out of college. Why not him? Why not Emeka Egbuka? Why not him? Trey Harris. Why not him? I don't want no Jonathan Mingo up in here. I mean, it's not my team. I can't make him do anything. But this is what the Joneses do. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. Y'all think Jonathan Mingo gonna push CD Lamb to be better? Y'all tell me. Tell me if Jonathan Mingo is gonna push CD Lamb to be better. You know what a push CD Lamb to be better? Bring in I'll have to look up how to pronounce his name, but this McMillan kid from Auburn. Bring in 212 pounds, 6'5", 4.5 40. Bring him in. Watch what CD Lamb will do. Y'all know all that crying he been doing on the sideline? Y'all know all that little punk stuff he been doing? All that complaining? It's like every week he up and down, up and down. I like CD. He's a stud, but he kind of looking like a little diva. Oh, okay. You want to know how to stop that? You want to know how to stop that? How about we bring in Egbuka, 205, 6'1", 4'3", 40? Bring him in. Bring him in. Don't give me Jonathan Mingo. I don't want to see Jonathan Mingo. I'm pretty sure he's a nice kid. This is not about Jonathan Mingo. I'm tired of the Joneses always trying to bring these emotions and feelings to this team. This is their problem. This is their exact problem. Ooh, we got to make sure CD's our number 1. Let's not bring in anybody too good. Let's make sure we bring in somebody that can compliment him. I don't want nobody to compliment CD no more. I want somebody to push him. Iron sharpens iron, man. Iron sharpens iron. We gotta understand what we're doing here. Is this the WWE or is it the NFL? Are you trying to win or are you trying to look like you're trying to win? Because this move with Jonathan Mingo allows the Cowboys to be lazy. It allows them to be lazy. He did not look bad in preseason. You see what you're saying, Scott? I'm not hating on what you're saying. I'm not hating on what you're saying. You said he didn't look bad, right? He didn't look bad. Let me put this up here again. But did he look like this? Tell me, did he look like this? Because I promise you, this 6'5" kid, 4'5", 40, bring him in the training camp. And I promise you, Dak Prescott will look every bit like a $60 million quarterback. Every bit. Every bit, he'll look like what you want him to look like. You bring in this number 2 kid, 6'1", 4'3", 40. You tell me how it sound. CD Lamb in the slot. One of these 3 kids on the outside, Tolbert and Ryan Flournoy. Now you tell me what it look like. This right here is going to allow the Joneses to be lazy. They're going to go out and they're going to keep doing what they've been doing. They keep going out trying to spend all the money on the line. Have y'all noticed they're not hitting? They're not hitting. They're not hitting on none of that. And the offensive skill positions, they keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker to now the only thing you have is CD Lamb. Do we realize we fall off a cliff? No one in the NFL falls off the cliff like the Dallas Cowboys. You got a top 5 receiver, and then everyone under him is not even in the top 100. Make it make sense. Jonathan Mingo, you think he's going to crack the top 100? Because if he was going to crack the top 100, I'm tired of folk with this type of thinking. These same folk with the mythological 5-1 unicorn, which is Cooper Rush, they can't tell you the truth. Why is the unicorn still with the Dallas Cowboys? Why is the 31-year-old unicorn, career backup, still with the Dallas Cowboys? He got an opportunity to go out there in free agency. Nobody wanted him. You know why? They got tape on him. You think they don't have tape on him? They have tape on him. They've been watching him. They know what they're looking at. And Cooper Rush, they say Dak ain't it? Cooper Rush ain't it. Jonathan Mingo, no hatred. The Dallas Cowboys have got to stop these projects. We don't need no more projects. You just signed a quarterback to $60 million for 4 years, $231 million guaranteed. You got to get this man some weapons. You got to get some weapons. I saw somebody today said this contract that the Dallas Cowboys paid Dak Prescott is going to be one of the greatest regret. It's going to be one of the contracts that they're going to regret in NFL history. No, you're looking at it wrong. Context is king. If the Dallas Cowboys pay any quarterback, I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes, you pay Patrick Mahomes $60 million. And you don't put no weapons around him, you don't put no coach around him, you don't put a good play caller around him, shame on you. Shame on you. Don't you dare blame that player. Do y'all know Troy Aikman isn't Troy Aikman unless Jimmy Johnson comes on that team? Troy Aikman isn't Troy Aikman unless Jimmy Johnson drafts him, and then they get the Herschel Walker trade, and then they put Michael Irvin around him. They put Alvin Harper around him. They put the best line in NFL history around him. They put Emmitt Smith in the backfield. They put Darryl Johnson in the backfield. Do you know that he is not who he is unless you put that around him? People don't even understand. The Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, they had top 5 and top 10 defenses. Troy Aikman had all that around him. He ain't Troy Aikman without that. You saw what happened when Jimmy left? And the Jimmy effect wore off? The ending of Troy Aikman's career was an absolute travesty. It was a travesty. And I bet you he still got problems with Jerry Jones. This man didn't even get to walk off into the sunset. He almost got carted off into the sunset. Nope. He just doesn't want to admit it. He blew it over the summer. You know what's crazy though, Montressa? Jerry think he the smartest person in the room. He tried to blow it because he says he likes his players. Scott, that mind was gone years ago. We got to get rid of that mindset. We got to stop all this pretty good stuff. Oh, he may be. I don't want to hear maybe. Because let me tell you something. I'm going to put it back on the screen again. How much y'all bet? How much you bet there's no maybe with number 4? How much you bet there's no maybe with number 2? How much you bet there's no maybe with number 3? There are no maybes with them. There are no maybes. You bring these kids in here, show enough fire. Show enough fire. I promise you. The Cowboys think that y'all got to help me out. I'm just pulling no punches on Jerry Jones tonight. I'm talking about Jerry Jones, the GM. I like Jerry Jones, the owner. I don't like Jerry Jones, the GM. Y'all help me out. Who's the player? Who's the player that the Cowboys brought in from another team? And I'm talking about somebody who they needed a second or a third chance. Who's the player they brought in? Who's the player that the Cowboys have brought in that everybody said, wow, the Cowboys really turned him around? The Cowboys gave him another chance and he flourished. Don't give me Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was already deadly. Who else? I mean, who else have they brought? Who have they brought in? Let me tell y'all something about these Dallas Cowboy draft picks even. Do y'all know if these Dallas Cowboy draft picks, if they don't be like super studs, have you noticed kind of what happens to them? They wind up fading away and getting cut or remaining on the Cowboys and being mediocre. Montressa, if you can't run the ball, you're kind of screwed. This is the exact reason why. You know what I want the Dallas Cowboys to do? I mean, it's not my team. They can do what they want to do. But you know what I want them to do? I want them to go in that draft. And if you don't want to get the top 3 receivers, well, you can go down the line. Take your pick. Don't go anything less than the top 10. And if it's me, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to get Dak Prescott. And I got a bias. Y'all forgive me. But I have a bias when it comes to quarterbacks. I have a bias when it comes to wide receivers. I have a cardinal rule. I'm not getting wide receivers that are below 6 feet tall. Preferably me. All of my receivers are going to be 6'2", 6'1" if he's an absolute stud, but I want 6'2" and above. You know why? I want a catch radius. 1, I want a catch radius. 2, I want some speed. 3, because a lot of these NFL cornerbacks, if you've noticed, have you noticed a lot of NFL cornerbacks are actually not tall? 5'11", 6 feet, maybe some 6'1s. You don't see a lot of tall ones. Get me a 6'2 minimum, 6'3, 6'4, 6'5 wide receiver, and I'm going to wreck the league. Jump balls in the corner. I'm going to wreck the league. Go routes. I'm going to wreck the league. I am going to throw jump balls every opportunity I get. You get me a big wide receiver with a big catch radius. So if I don't throw the ball exactly to him, guess what he does? He reaches out and gets it. I want a huge catch radius. I'm not taking quarterbacks below 6'2 either. I'm not doing it. 6'1, he better be a stud. 6, he better be a stud. Michael Vick might be the only exception I would probably make. I promise you, if they ask Dak Prescott, Dak, what kind of receiver do you want? Big body, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Look at this. You go down the line. Number 8, Royals. And no, this guy, Ayo Manor, 6'2", 4'42". Why not him? Why not him? Look at this Jaden Higgins kid, 6'4", 4'5", 40". Why not him? Look at this. Tez Johnson, 5'10". I'm going to leave him. But you got options on these big receivers, because I think one of the biggest weaknesses and the biggest mistakes the Cowboys have made over the years, they continue to bring in these small receivers. Why? Why are you bringing in small guys? Why? Who told you the small guys were it? No. Get some size, man. Get some size and speed. You get size and speed, man, they give cornerbacks fits. You mess around and match one of those guys up on a safety or a linebacker, bye-bye. I have no problems. Jonathan Mingo is probably a good kid. Terrible. Terrible pick. Terrible pick. What is going on, Angie? Terrible pick. Jerry need to go ahead and take his dirt nap. I ain't talking about dead, but he need to stop being a GM, Scott. We just don't know. We just don't know Jonathan Mingo. And that's the problem I still have. I don't want a wide receiver that we don't know. Because it's a 50-50 chance. We don't know. I'd have rather took DeAndre Hopkins. You know why? We know. That's why he caught 2 touchdowns, 8 for 86, 2 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes. We know. I would have took DeAndre Hopkins in a heartbeat over Jonathan Mingo. Nisi said he should have been dumb it down. That's why the wide receivers were running the wrong routes. Maybe their football IQ isn't that high. They need time. And Nisi, you think about it. The drop-off from C.D. Lamb, the drop-off is steep. And even Dak Prescott was saying, guys need to be studying when they're away from the building, studying. Angie said, Jerry and Steven, buffoonery. You better believe it, buffoonery. Rick said, I don't know, Skeletor. I had to read that twice. Skeletor says we're rebuilding. That would make a lot more sense. Now watch what you just said, Rick. Now the rebuilding part don't make sense. Why are you bringing in retreads? If you're rebuilding, the one thing you shouldn't have done, you should not have made any trades. Scott, we should have bought back Amari Cooper. I'm with you. Jerry thought he was on the phone. Or he said Jerry thought he was on the phone ordering mangoes. He said Mingo's. Jerry on that dang page. Y'all killing me. Jerry is tripping. Victor said with that trade, they probably won't draft wide receiver 1. You see what I'm talking about, Victor? You with me, aren't you? Jonathan Mingo allows the Joneses to be lazy. I'm telling y'all this. If I'm Will McClay, I quit. I quit if I'm Will McClay. I'm sorry, y'all. I have a reputation. I got a reputation to uphold. Do y'all know teams call Will McClay year after year after year, and he keeps turning them down? Well, I'm hearing his last kid is graduating this year. I'm sorry, I'm Will McClay. I'm quitting. I feel what you're saying, but if they don't want to, hold on a second. Mark said if they don't want to move Tyler Guyton to right tackle, they probably need a tackle. That would be more a press to me after a few years. We could have 220 plus mil. Watch this. Watch this, Mark. So why give away a 4th round draft pick? What you're saying? I agree if you're going to move in the right tackle and you're going to go get you another left tackle. Okay. Don't give away that 4th round then. Because if you want a 1st round left tackle, then one of these guys will probably be there in the 2nd round. So you want to get him. You can get you a running back in the 3rd round. There's always still good wide receivers in the 3rd round. And guess what's also still in the 4th round? Good running backs, good linebackers, some cornerbacks. I don't understand the Joneses on this. The 4th round is a pivotal round. That's an impact player. So now you take a player with a 2nd round grade when he got drafted. And now that he's playing, he wasn't even, I think he's 6th on the depth chart. And now you give away a 4th for somebody who is probably a 6th round. I got some information for you. I'm pretty sure you thought you saw the title. I had James Slater in the title. Look at what James Slater dug up, y'all. James Slater has went absolutely savage on Jerry and Stephen Jones. I'd be shocked if they let her back in the building. She has went savage on them on X. Look at this. I asked the GM of another team. his thoughts on the Cowboys trade for Jonathan Mingo. The thoughts were something talented, a little raw. Comp is too much, like way too much. Basically, a net fifth. Probably is most like Tolbert of the guys out there. The GM goes on to say, just my opinion, not a bad player, but to include a fourth is rich. So he's making the same argument that I'm making, but in a different way. Because if Jonathan Mingo is Tolbert, you already have Tolbert. If Jonathan Mingo is Ryan Flournoy, you already have Ryan Flournoy. If Jonathan Mingo is one of those two guys, why do you want two Ryan Flournoys? Why do you want two why do you want two Tolberts? I don't want two of those guys. I want one, and I'm going to go into this doggone draft, and I'm tired of playing. I'm about to draft me a show-enough fire wide receiver to compliment, and not just compliment, he going to push CeeDee Lamb. I got CeeDee Lamb on a 3-year deal. 3 years starting next year. I'm going to bring me a show-enough fire wide receiver in here. How much y'all bet? Help me out. How much y'all bet CeeDee Lamb will clean up his act? How much y'all bet? You'll see a CeeDee Lamb you ain't never seen before. How much y'all bet? It's a little bit different when there's talent in the room. It's a little bit different. When somebody that can play your position, you act a little bit different. You a little bit more buttoned up. You a little bit more, hold on a second. Let me dot these I's and cross these T's. Let me come to practice before everybody get here. Let me leave after everybody gone. Let me be the last one out the building. Let me stay in the film room. Let me spend extra time with Dak Prescott because I don't want this dude doing it, because if I keep on messing around, I'll be traded in a year. I'm telling y'all, these Joneses, man, it's crazy. No, he will not help CD. He on his own. He won't push him. He said, you're right. You should be stacking picks, not bringing in average assets. I'm telling y'all. And you know what? I like Michael Parsons. I'm not mad that the Cowboys kept him. But there was rumors today that teams were calling about Michael Parsons. What? 2 number ones? 2 number ones and a 2? 2 number ones and a 3? Michael, we love you, but you out of here. You out of here. We about to make the 2024 Herschel Walker trade up in here. Because, see, you got to understand what you can do when you get 2 number 2s and a number 2 or a number 3. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. There are probably some who probably would have gave you two number 1s and 2 number 2s. 2 number 1s, a number 2, and a number 5. Probably would have done it. There are some teams that are that complete. Could y'all imagine the Detroit Lions with Michael Parsons? I mean, you're going to have to get ready because you're going to have to fight them in the playoffs eventually in a couple of years. But there are teams that would have gave them a king's ransom for Michael Parsons. Mark said way too many talented wideouts these days to take first-round wideouts to me. It's the deepest position in football. Mark, I'll go with you on that. Get one in the second. But I'll tell you this. I'm not going below top 10 receivers this year. If I'm going to finish at the top end of the draft and I'm drafting in the top of the first, the top of the second, the top of the third, nah, I'm not going below second. I'm making a sacrifice this year. I'm not going below second, Mark. You're making a good point, but I ain't going. I'm not going. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Mark. I don't want to go deep. Folk be talking about, man, it's the deepest class of so-and-so out here. Okay, I'm going to let them other guys go deep. I ain't trying to go deep. I want to go right to the top. Who the best? If I got an opportunity to get the best, and you don't get this many opportunities, if I got an opportunity to get the best, I'm going to get the best. Cowboys mess around. I'm going to tell y'all something. Cowboys mess around. Travis Hunter be on that board when they get there. Montressa. You know why? Because we got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as the coach. We were watching Dr. Hyde, or we were watching we were watching Mr. Hyde. We were watching the Mike McCarthy from 2023. He went in his bag. That was the first game that really made me understand that Rico Dowdle was the man on this team. That was the first game that made me realize it. He gave the ball to Rico Dowdle. Well, Rico Dowdle did what he does. He run the ball. He got a touchdown in the passing game. I'm telling you, he got creative in the passing game. He was running rub routes. He had people in motion. I mean, Dak spread the ball around. I mean, Dak even tried to run in the corner end zone and got smashed on. It's the Mike McCarthy that we keep seeing little flashes of, but he won't give us the Pittsburgh game again. Other than that, I can't explain it. I bet you in Pittsburgh scratching their head. Mark said 100% wouldn't be mad at those wideouts, though. They definitely opened the offense for sure. Oh, man, no doubt. Mark, you got those. Man, let me tell you, you got one of those guys. Man, this fan base would be on walk. Man, they'd be on cloud nine. We ran the ball. Yes, we did. We ran the ball. I think I remember them turning it over, too. Yep, they did. And Dak Prescott made the play of the night. Everybody think the fourth down play to Tolbert was the play of the night. No, the play of the night is when Rico Dowdle fumbled that ball when the guy from Pittsburgh made a great play and Dak Prescott was right there to follow the ball. Buddha said WWE or the NFL, you better believe it. I'm telling you. What's going on, Buddha? Boys need depth on both lines, running back, safeties, and at least one more linebacker. We are still too small on defense. That's another reason why. I'm not giving them no draft picks. They can forget it. I'm not giving up no draft picks. I don't think they should have gave up anything. Draft capital is too important for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not giving up nothing. What do you guys think about Diggs? Somebody was saying you should trade him. I did. He was number 2 on my list. Number 1 was Michael Parsons. Number 2 was Trayvon Diggs. Trade him. Why not? Trayvon Diggs, he's a 4'6", 40 guy. He takes a lot of chances. He's not quite the same. And I don't know if it's quite the same. He's not the same for sure under Mike Zimmer. The way Mike Zimmer wants to play. I bet you this. Looking at what Dan Quinn did today, we're going to go and look at what everybody did in the draft. Looking at what Dan Quinn did today. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Buddha. Ooh. Wait a minute. Now, Joey Galloway wasn't the worst to me. Now, Joey Galloway was pretty bad. What was the other wide receiver that the Cowboys brought in that was supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread? Man, I forgot that guy's name. Terrible. Never got anything out of him. Janie said the Cowboys are being put in this position to keep the tension on Jerry Jones. I don't understand it. I think Jerry would have did better by doing nothing. If we get McMillan, Dak is going to be MVP. Man. And you know what? Wild boy Trey. And why not save all your draft picks in case you get the opportunity? And if anything, you should have been trying to collect draft picks. I think Mingo is a good complimentary piece. Somebody to push him. Jerry's a weirdo in the aspect who only brings in guys that he liked from previous drafts. I think it's got to be an ego kick for him. I'm agreeing with you. I'm sorry. If I don't get you in the draft I want you in, I'm done. I'm moving on. I just can't look back like that. G wouldn't have gotten Turpin. Turpin is a return guy. I like him. I'm not going to be surprised if Turpin don't get I'm not going to be surprised if Turpin, if he does get a deal, I don't know. It probably won't be from the Cowboys. I need more from Turpin. Turpin's been tripping. Give Dak a big body receiver and he will be MVP. You ask any quarterback, I'm pretty sure what they want because I'm biased. I tell my sons all the time, I'm not picking any wide receiver. For me, you can't play for me if you below 6'2". I mean 6'1", you better be a super stud. I'm not getting wide receivers below 6 feet tall for sure. I prefer 6'2" and above. 6'2" and above. I'm telling us, man, the Cowboys tripping. And now they're giving themselves an out. If this guy comes in and does halfway decent, the Cowboys are going to be patting themselves on the back. I'm going to give you some more James Slater. I'm telling y'all, James Slater went savage on the Cowboys. Savage. Look at this. Another talent evaluator sends the throw up emoji, tells me that should have been a 6 for a 7-pick swap. Another GM agrees with the other two assessments. That's spot on. That's spot on. The value compared to the other wide receiver trades. He's in year 2 of his rookie deal. He has a skill set but raw. Hasn't produced in the league yet. Rich. Doesn't surprise you with Dallas. They did the same thing with Trey. I'm convinced. I don't think the Cowboys like 4th-round draft picks. This is the second year in a row they've given away a 4th-round draft pick for somebody who's not proven. I trust, maybe I'm going out on a limb. Y'all help me out. I trust John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan's football acumen more than Jerry Jones. Y'all tell me what you think in the chat. Are y'all going to take the opinion that the same man who gave up a king's ransom for Trey Lance fleeced the Dallas Cowboys and got a 4th-round draft pick for him when every other team out there was saying they wouldn't give more than a 6th? If Kyle Shanahan is going to let a player go, and it's not based on money, and some of it might have been, but the contract just wasn't huge, you're going to pick that player up? There are certain coaches that if they don't want a player, I don't want him either. And if Kyle Shanahan don't want you, I don't want him either. You see what happened when Jimmy Garoppolo got cut loose by Kyle Shanahan and the Raiders thought, okay, we'll pick him up? Y'all remember Josh McDaniel thought he was going to be so smart? He remembered the Jimmy Garoppolo when he was with Bill Belichick. So Josh, I mean, what are you doing? Oh, okay, you're going to put your career, your head coaching career on the line. You're going to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, that's why you're not a head coach now. Look at this. James Slater, someone says, bottom line, Cowboys made this move to help the future, and he still has 2 years left on his rookie deal, but compensation and position just seems a little much. Jerry is essentially saying he's still all in, buying, not selling, but so many other spots could have been addressed. James Slater went savage on him. She went savage on him. It's the truth. There's no other way to slice it. It's the truth. The Dallas Cowboys made an unequivocal mistake. Michael French says Jerry being on the wrong side of a trade shocks me zero. I think teams love to trade with Jerry now and know they are going to get one over on him. I'm convinced Jerry is doing this on purpose at this point. I don't understand it. Even an average fan, sharp stick in the eye, says, even the average fan knows Jerry gets fleeced in trades. Somebody says, serious question. Can we get the Commanders treatment? Have the league force Jerry to sell the Cowboys? I don't know about that. But we definitely need Jerry needs to fire himself as the GM. And the unfortunate thing is he's never going to do it. He's never going to do it. So this is what we're going to have to deal with, y'all. This is what we're going to have to deal with. I don't know what else to tell us other than the Dallas Cowboys is our team. This is basically this is it. I don't know what else to tell us. So let's look at the trades. And I want you to notice how all of these other teams trade versus how the Dallas Cowboys trade. It's crazy to me how these other teams trade. And they trade as if they desperately want to win. Because I think trading is actually one of the ways that you show you want to win. Because you're basically saying, either I don't have everything I need, or better yet, I got what I need to win my division. I got what I need to probably beat all the teams in the playoffs, except for one team. So let me go out and get the player I need to beat that team, because all the rest of them are easy. Exactly what the Cowboys did when they got Deion Sanders. Exactly what they did when they got Charles Haley. And so you look at the San Francisco 49ers. Look at what they did. They went in and got a defensive tackle. They needed it. Houston receives a 7th-round draft pick. They needed depth. I mean, would anybody have been mad if the Cowboys had made that trade? I mean, I wouldn't have been ecstatic about it. I wouldn't have been upset. Because I'm thinking, okay, they may try to still make a run at this season. They're going to try to bring a little depth to the defensive line. I'm telling you right now, the pickup of one Derrick Henry, we may be talking about this is the very reason why Lamar Jackson gets over the hump and goes to the Super Bowl this year. But the Baltimore Ravens, it says they traded for Tre'Davious White. They get a 27 7th-round draft pick. The Los Angeles looks like Los Angeles receives a 2026 7th-round draft pick. Pittsburgh Steelers. And wait a minute, is this right? Because I thought Pittsburgh got somebody else they were talking about. Okay, here it is. Okay, gotcha. Pittsburgh Steelers got linebacker Preston Smith. Green Bay receives 7th-round draft pick. Isn't it strange you're already seeing a trend? Everyone's kind of doing 7th-round draft picks, 5th, 6th. You're not seeing a whole lot of 4ths. Look at this. Pittsburgh also got Mike Williams. I think it's a pretty good trade. Look at this. 2025 5th-round draft pick. Now, y'all tell me in the chat, Mingo or Mike Williams? Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all tell me what you think. Angie says, Mingo will get the Dalvin Cook treatment. You know, if they do what I think they're going to do, they're probably going to run the ball. CeeDee Lamb is going to be so frustrated because he was frustrated that year that he was frustrated that year that Cooper Rush took over. Because they're just not going to throw the ball a lot. I think there was one game he didn't even throw the ball barely. I don't even think he threw it 20 times. What season was that? I think that was 2022. I'll look that up in a moment. Look at this. Look at this. The Washington Commanders got too many draft picks. That's all I can tell you. They got too many draft picks. They have a king's ransom of draft picks. Y'all help me out in the chat. Help me out. What do you think the Washington Commanders would have gave up for Trayvon Diggs? I might be crazy, but I would probably take Trayvon Diggs over Marshawn Lattimore. What do you think they get for Trayvon Diggs? Marshawn Lattimore. They gave a 3rd, 4th, and 6th draft pick? I'm sure those are extras. What? I'm lost on. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I just didn't know Marshawn Lattimore was killing it like this. I'm thinking this is who I think it is. You gave up this for Marshawn Lattimore? And you're telling me that the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't try to put Trayvon Diggs in front of man. They gave up this for Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore has been good over his career in spots. But if I'm not mistaken, I thought he was a little bit on the decline. They gave up a king's ransom. Man, you a third, a fourth, and a sixth? What do you think they'd have gave for Trayvon Diggs? Because I'm telling you, I guarantee you, they'd have came with a lot more than that for Trayvon Diggs. Mingo, of course, of the Cowboys, got fleeced a 4th-round draft pick, and then they traded for a 7th-round draft pick. Cincinnati receives Khalil Herbert, 2025 7th-round draft pick. I think they needed some help in the running game. Detroit got Zadarius Smith, 7th-round draft pick, 2026. And then Cleveland receives a 5th and a 6th. Arizona, linebacker Baron Browning, 6th. You kind of see the trend here. Cam Robinson to the Minnesota Vikings, 5th-round conditional. Ravens, Deontay Johnson, 6th-round draft pick. I think Deontay Johnson was surely starting in front of Jonathan Mingo, and they're only giving up a 6th-round draft pick for him? I mean, I'm sorry, they get a 5th-round draft pick. What gives? Who's negotiating these deals for the Cowboys? Now, Jerry said can't nobody get a deal done like him. I just think Jerry is doing these deals and he's thinking that he knows something that nobody else knows. Kansas City already got a great defense, added some depth, John Uche. And I think that Kansas City is dealing with a lot of injuries. So 6th-round draft pick, Seahawks, Ernest Jones, they've done this earlier, and then Jerome Baker in the trade. Kansas City, this is going to pay dividends for DeAndre Hopkins, October 24th, 2025 conditional 5th-round pick. I'm sorry, DeAndre Hopkins is better than Jonathan Mingo, and I would rather have him for 2 more years than to see what Jonathan Mingo is. Doesn't make sense. Cam Akers to the Minnesota Vikings. They needed some depth. Buffalo, Amari Cooper. Another pick that's going to pay dividends. And I think some people were confused on this pick because the Buffalo Bills receive a 6th-round pick. The Cleveland Browns, they get a 7th-round pick and a 3rd. I didn't hear that before. So they got a 3rd round and a 7th round. So they got pretty good on that deal, even though I think they did pretty good on that deal. Some people were saying they gave him that it was only a 6th or 7th rounder, but no, they actually getting something for Amari Cooper. Devontae Adams, unfortunately, that's not going to pay dividends until next year. The Seahawks, they did the defensive end, Roy Robinson Harris. So it looks like that's kind of like the deals, but you notice what all of those teams did? All of those teams and everything they were doing, all of them made moves to not only get better right now, but they made moves that will carry over at least 2 more years. Because I believe I'm kind of like Nisi. I think that anytime you get a free agent, I want at least 2 to 3 years. I want at least 2 to 3. 2 with an option of 3. Give me 3 hidden where if it don't go right, I can cut you in 2. But I want a 3-year deal. And so I just think the Cowboys blew this whole thing on the trade. And I just don't think they should have made any trades. I mean, it looks like you're trying to rebuild the team. And the Jonathan Mingo thing, it just doesn't make sense. And let me see something here. I noticed something that James Slater said. I hadn't even looked at this part of the deal. Let me see something here. Let's look at his contract real quick. Look at his contract. Contract not too bad. It's not too bad, I guess. Base salary $576. Cap hit $576. Dead cap. He hits you for $1.5 and then basically $2 million. I mean, the way the Cowboys do with their cap, for me, every dollar counts with the Cowboys. I just don't think there's any throwaway money with them. But still got a problem with this because if you get Zeke's salary and this salary, you almost got Derrick Henry. I just don't think this was a wise pick. And it's nothing against the kid, Jonathan Mingo. I mean, if you're looking for somebody that's going to do fine and, I don't know. I don't know what Dak's going to do with it. Maybe Dak will turn him into who knows what. But I just think that they should have went out and did Dak a better service than this. Man, load this man up with weapons. Load this man's up. You go crying to Jerry and you start over the running back that has the hot feet. CD is a diva and will cry to Jerry. And I think that's one of the reasons why he didn't want to bring anybody in to threaten him. Personally, where I don't like the trade is that Mingo doesn't fit our offense in my eyes. Agreed. He doesn't fit. What up, Confident? Yeah, this is a shut up signing. Confident said, let me do something to shut these folks up. man, yeah, I got to see this. Maybe so it looks like they are doing things. Pretty much. I mean, even if you cut him, I guess it's not a huge risk. I just don't understand the cap. Roberta. Yes, you better speak on it. I don't understand it. I don't Mingo is like either of them personally. You know what? I think he's closer to Flournoy. But I really hadn't seen him play like that, so you might know more about him than I do, Mark. I'm not a huge fan of college football, even though I do follow the Colorado Buffaloes because of Deion Sanders. Oh, man, Nisi. Jane went savage on this man. Fourth, way too much. Yep, way too much. Drafted Ray Davis in the fourth, and he's a beast. That fourth round, Guerrero for San Francisco, that's our pick. You can get a running back. You can get a linebacker in those. You can even get D-line. The Cowboys don't like fourth round picks. That's all I can figure. She asked the GM, Jerry. Niecy said he asked the GM. That's not what Jerry is. None of this mess makes sense. Definitely makes you run to check out on football. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It just makes no sense. Just makes no sense. I want us to look at a couple other things here tonight. I got a video I'm gonna drop on tonight, but I'm gonna give you Jerry Fagan said Cowboys are old news. No. One thing for sure, they're never going to be old news. They always going to be in the news, if anything. I would have been trying to move Micah and Tank. Said the same thing. I mean, you want a Herschel Walker trade? You got it. I'm going to show you my notes. At least I think I'm going to show you my notes. But I'm telling you, this is my list. I had it put together. Let me see here. Well, I thought I had it here. Here it is. Trades for the Cowboys. Look who at the top. I got him in red. Micah Parsons. Trey Diggs, Jordan Lewis, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Brandon Cooks, Eric Kendricks, Trey Lance. Now, I want y'all to notice, why do I have all these players on here? You know why? Micah Parsons and Trey Diggs, because they're the best trade pieces we have. All these other players, I'm not sure what Zach Martin is, but all these other players, they're all on the last year of the deal. They're going to pretty much walk away, and we're not going to get anything hardly for them. There may be a compensatory pick here or there, but others are going to walk away scot-free. If I know we're not going to win this year, why am I not going to trade them? Why not? The Cowboys need to accumulate exactly what the Washington Commanders did. Accumulate so many picks that you can roll those picks over and you can move up in the draft. Roll those picks over for some trades. You got draft capital, you can use it. You're going to have huge amounts of money under the salary cap, especially once you flip some switches. Doesn't make sense. Roy Williams, Andre. Boy, hey, man. Boy, that pick right there was terrible. Terrible. Man. That one right there. Woo, boy. Let me see if they got it. Uh-oh. Y'all ready? Look at this. September 9th, 2012. Roy Williams trade is the worst in Cowboys history. The Cowboys gave up a first and third round draft pick to acquire receiver Roy Williams from the Detroit Lions before the 2008 trade deadline. The Cowboys later signed him to a $54 million contract extension. Williams never fit with the Cowboys. That's exactly what you're talking about, Mark. Which, thankfully, we're not even nowhere near this type of trade. But I remember that Roy Williams trade. In 2000, the Cowboys traded 2 first-round picks to Seattle for wide receiver Joey Galloway. In his first game for the Cowboys, Galloway tore his ACL during a blowout loss and missed the rest of the season. Whoo, man. Man. Boy, I remember both of those. Some of y'all, I don't know how old most of y'all are, but boy, what some of us Cowboy fans have endured over the years. Whew. I remember those 2 trades. And man, we were sitting here. I can remember sitting there. You were just hoping against hope. And every time they did something, you just be glad they did something, because you're like, okay, we're getting something out of it. We're getting something out of it. Oh man, Brandon Carr. You know what though? Brandon Carr, what had maybe a year that he was pretty good, I'm thinking. Maybe a year. Oh man. Man, all I wanted for Christmas was a Super Bowl. I still think Jerry should have ran the team back from last year and just added somebody like a Derrick Henry. Spider-Man, what's up, man? He'd have added somebody like a Derrick Henry, man. This team would have been ready. One tech on D-line needs to be addressed early, and a dog at linebacker. I want a big, nasty D-tackle who doesn't care about nothing at all. That's why I take that 4th-round draft pick. Man, you got to keep them top 4 rounds. It's so much flexibility in there. Nisi said, since Jerry is doing crazy things, go get a rugby player from South Africa team for running back. These guys were beasts in the Olympics. Man, hey, that make too much sense even right there. No one knows how this Mingo kid is going to turn out until he gets on the field and shows what he can do. Well, the problem is, Freddie, he's been on the field. He couldn't beat nobody out in Carolina. And even then, I don't even think nobody is tripping on the trade as much as they're tripping on, again, the Dallas Cowboys give up a 4th-round draft pick. You don't give up fourth-round draft picks for players like this. They did the same thing with Trey Lance. 49ers took my personal favorite wideout that wasn't top 3, and I thought he was next up, Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, he looking pretty good. Pardon my boys in the hood reference. Yeah, he looking pretty good. Jerry thinks and his son is trying very hard to prove they know football. Man, sometimes you just got to say, sometimes you just got to throw in a towel and say, we're going to let somebody else do this. I wish we would have traded for Jeffrey Simmons to play defensive tackle. Yeah, Jerry don't know football no more. Yeah, Charles Haley was it, man. I love that trade. Jerry Jones walking around, meat falling off his bones, acting crazy. Going to get worse. Man, I just don't know what's going on with Jerry. And you know what, wild boy? If this was a 6th-round draft pick, okay. You're just doing something to be doing something, got it. No one cares. He turns out, boom, he got it. We were supposed to draft Jerry Simmons. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up. Just like we were supposed to draft Jalen Ramsey and Derrick Henry in the same draft. Oh, yes. Just like we were supposed to draft Randy Moss. Still regret that one. I'm the type of person, I don't care what people, especially reporters, say about players. I have to see it for myself. I'm not even going by what they're saying. I'm just going by what his stats are showing. I'm just going by the proof he couldn't beat out where he was. And I just don't trust Jerry Jones. I don't trust Jerry or Steven. Anytime they bring in somebody in that's unproven and we have poor player development, they're going to do that player a disservice. Jerry said it wasn't anyone to get, yet all these wide receivers were getting traded. Then comes the deadline. Jerry gets Mingo. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make it up, Angie. You know what's even crazier now, just tacking on to what you said? Mingo been there all along. Why wait this long? The Carolina Panthers would have given you him. They would have took your 4th and gave him to you probably in week 3. Why wait until the trade deadline? Crazy work. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Dallas have an Easter basket of comp picks coming this year? I think so. So wouldn't that 4th be one of those comp picks? Now, I like what you're saying, CL, but why not have 2 of them? This is the same thing I was arguing against last year. You got a 4th from someone in a trade. So if you don't get Trey Lance, you got 2 4ths now. That's major. To have 2 4ths? Well, Andre, at this point, we ain't got no choice. This is spilled milk after the day. We ain't even talking about it no more. It's spilled milk. I think we're actually going to get an opportunity to see what he does. And at this point, I think we're going to get an opportunity to see what Dak Prescott does with him. I'm hearing some stuff. James Jones is out here tripping. Warren Miles, you're right. They're not managing the books right. Waiting too long for every deal. Every deal, they're waiting too long. Spider-Man says, do you think we show up the line at a stud running back? Do we have enough in the receiver core with Lamb? You know what? I'm sorry, but we're delusional if we think that this is enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Dak Prescott needs another bona fide, not a project, another bona fide wide receiver. He needs another bona fide wide receiver. I just don't like it. The Trey White trade is something we definitely could have got a little excited about. Trey White, okay. The Cowboys would have had everybody from the city on the squad. I'm about to look that one up. These teams have real GMs. Facts. Mingo, honestly, I never liked Mike Williams, though. Wild Boy Trey says, Mingo over Mike Williams. Williams gets hurt a lot, and Mingo is young and tons of upside. Okay. Yeah, you're talking about from the Jets. Should have got Mike Williams for the 5th-round pick. I'm good on Trey White. He can't stay healthy like he used to. For Diggs, not sure. Maybe a second and long, but if multiple picks, it would look similar to the Lattimore trade. Mark, would you take that Lattimore trade? Man, I am. Man, that's half a draft. I mean, they gave up half a draft for Lattimore. I'm pretty sure that was all extra picks. And he said I wouldn't trade with Commanders or any divisional rival at all. Yeah, that's pretty risky. You mess around and put too many players on that team, they come back and mop the floor with you. Dog not going to be the same until next year. Yeah. Why would you trade one of the league's best DBs in Diggs? That's crazy because Diggs is not one of the best cornerbacks in the league no more. Takes way too many chances. He can't recover. He doesn't have the recovery speed. Actually never has. And it seems like, I mean, maybe if we get another defense coordinator, he's not playing well in Mike Zimmer's scheme. And we showed it the other day. I mean, Emmanuel Acho scorched him. I'm going to release a video on it tomorrow. Emmanuel Acho scorched him. Trayvon Diggs won't tackle, can't tackle. Not physical enough. Trayvon Diggs out here making business decisions, and he already has a deal. No, I would have traded Trayvon Diggs. No doubt. The other teams traded 6- and 7-round draft picks. We traded a 4th. Same thing I said. A baby has to be negotiated. Angie says a baby has to be negotiating these deals. Jerry wanted a rookie deal with a little bread involved. Yep. I think we have 4 compensatory picks, highest in the league. See, they're banking on those. But see, for me, I'm not giving up none of them because you can roll those picks into getting further up in the draft or getting another pick that's higher up in the draft. Because my problem with the Cowboys, they don't develop players well. They just don't. They don't develop players well. Cowboys would have been better off with Michael Thomas and keeping the pick. I said it the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm absolutely shocked the Cowboys didn't go kick the tires on Michael Thomas. I mean, we bought in Martavius Bryant. We couldn't kick the tires on Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas just 2 short years ago was wrecking the league? Maybe 3? I'd have kicked the tires on him. Yeah, we're in a bizarro world with this team, no doubt. Rookie contract is always good, but dang, we need to revamp this run defense for a change. Seriously. Yep, I agree with that too. Nobody doesn't want our roster except for Diggs and Michael. That's why I would have traded them. Revamp the roster. T.O. Clown Roy Williams on that episode of Hard Knocks about his contract and performance. Boy, that Roy Williams trade was crazy. Emotional roller coaster throughout my years cheering for the Cowboys. Man, I'm telling you, if you young, man, you ought to consider yourself lucky. Because, boy, some of the things we've endured. All this showing is we are not going to be drafting a wide receiver in the 2025 draft. That's my problem. That right there is my problem. Don't like it. I don't like it. Nisi, Jerry doesn't want another Dak in the 4th round. $60 million plus to pay. He's still salty. Yep, Dak got him on that. But he shouldn't have been playing with his money. In fairness to Mingo, he doesn't fit Carolina's offense either. You know, and that's another thing too. To me, it's a very unfortunate thing when a player who may be good, but he goes into the wrong system. And when you get those players, they don't hit the right system. They get passed around and everybody thinks they don't have the talent to play. But they're just not in the right system. System matters. That's why I laugh at folks when they talk about system quarterback. Man, everybody's a system quarterback. Every quarterback has a system that they're playing in. They do. And you put them in the right system, they will do extremely, extremely well for you. Extremely, extremely well. So, yesterday, we kind of ended off on this interview with Dak Prescott. But I want to bring to your attention something that Jerry Jones said that has got it's got my whole mind twisted up. I want y'all to see exactly, and I know we all know what we're dealing with. I want us to listen to this for a moment. Let me cue this up. You're not going to believe this. If you haven't heard this yet, you better brace yourself and sit down on a flat surface because you're going to fall out of your seat. Hold on, let me cue it up. I had to brace myself. I want y'all to listen to what Jerry Jones is about to say about Mike McCarthy. This is mind-blowing.
Take it to heart, though, are the guys that played tonight, coaches, me, everybody involved, and just remember how this doesn't feel real good to be standing here like this.
What is your confidence in Mike McCarthy?
Now that y'all hear the question, they asked Jerry Jones, what is his confidence in Mike McCarthy? Listen to this.
I'm good with Mike. I know how hard he works. I like his football mind. I know how good he works. He's got, in my mind, an outstanding coaching record. He's really good with the players. They think highly of him. But he's got a lot of fire in his belly. And so I'm just giving you this. I like the positives I see in him. And by the way, frankly, some of the best coaches that I've been around, I got to see them when times were bad. We came in here with Herschel Walker playing for us our first year and hadn't won anything. They were all out of here to see Herschel. And that guy took it and went to the house with it a few times, our coach there. So I've had experience of having times when you were questioning and thinking about maybe do it differently. But I've had good experience with staying with it.
What'd you say to the team? What'd you say to the team, Jerry, when you're telling us?
What planet is Jerry Jones on? How does Jerry Jones say he has full confidence in Mike McCarthy while undermining Mike McCarthy every single opportunity that he gets? He hasn't given him a contract extension. He didn't give him any players. He's meddling in player affairs. He said Troy Aikman was right with the poor play designs. And Ezekiel Elliott gets suspended by the Dallas Cowboys. I'm about to give y'all why this team has the poorest mentality of any team in the league. One, why is the GM going into the locker room giving an end of game speech? Make it make sense, y'all. Why? You're not the coach, man. And you watched the beginning of the third quarter. You watched the beginning of the third quarter. And you came out with a false start. You got to 4th and 2. Your team is only down 14-10. And your coach, who you just said you're fully confident in, he runs the worst fake punt of 2024. Atlanta goes down for the quick score. And your team is down by 2 scores when they were in position to probably take pole position against the Atlanta Falcons in the third quarter. Y'all explain it to me. Explain it to me. This is madness. How do we know Jerry's a liar? Mike doesn't have a contract. Mike doesn't have a contract. Put your money where your mouth is, Jerry. You got all that confidence. Go ahead and come on out. Stop hiding it from us. I'm telling y'all, prepare yourselves. I will not be surprised. I will not, and I refuse to be surprised if Jerry Jones brings this man back as the coach. I refuse to be surprised. I'm waiting on it, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm waiting on it. Mike McCarthy is the reason why the Cowboys lost that game. Go back and look at it. He's the reason. Boneheaded plays, lack of concentration, the terrible walkthroughs are bleeding through into the play on the field. That's why you're getting delay of games. 12 men on the field. I noticed something the other day. I looked at it today when I was making the video, and it blew my mind. Do y'all know who had all of the penalties in the second half of the Atlanta Falcons-Dallas Cowboy game? Take a wild guess. The Dallas Cowboys had all the penalties. All the penalties, y'all. That's not the players, that's coaching. Holding, that's the players. Delay of games, that's coaching. That's plays coming in from the sidelines. 12 men on the field, that's coaching. You didn't tell Dalvin Cook where he was supposed to be. You didn't tell Dalvin Cook this play you want to run. This man has not been on the field. If Dalvin Cook's second game, you got to work through situational football. Dalvin Cook, we're going to bring you in on 4th and 1s. This is the play we're going to call on 4th and 1s. You practice at full speed. You practice it. You draw it up. You walk through it. False starts. These are coaching issues. I promise you, if they're having false starts in the game, they're having false starts at practice. Jerry, this is crazy. This circus is not going to stop, y'all. We love this team, but this circus is not going to stop with Jerry Jones. I watched this interview. I'm not even done. I'm just giving y'all, this is the part right here where you know he's a liar. You want to know how I know he's a liar? I'm about to take you backwards into the interview. He's about to undermine Mike McCarthy again. Watch this part. Let me cue it up. Let me cue this part up. Watch this.
I'm a stuffing guy. The stuffing is what holds Thanksgiving together. Don't get me wrong, I love premium carved turkey and cranberry sauce.
That we have no way of ascertaining how much that ham, it's a high one. I attribute the loss to that. That'll take actually do it a lot. And I was proud of the way the guys, the way that running back played the game tonight. Give him some love because he played hard and he played good.
Jerry, why is it just so emotional for you right now?
Excuse me?
Why are you so emotional?
Regret it for when this thing gets to look from being dismayed about our team. We'll probably do a couple of things this if you knew exactly what to do. Atlanta look well. I am concerned about that, and it concerned me when I saw the play or saw him. Now, not a little, but and so that's the way he is.
If you're not this,
I've just been around this game all this. I had blemishes on my background.
If you're not,
But I'm not late for meetings.
Jerry,
Unconditionally, a result of him being late for meetings.
Jerry, if you're not dismayed,
But I'm not in that, and that was unconditionally. And he was man. He's one of the best workers. That's the way he is, and he's one of the best. The decision that Zeke understood
Zeke today.
played well.
So I want you to listen to this. Y'all do know that this is not Jerry's, it's Jerry's decision, but it's Mike McCarthy, y'all, who didn't want Zeke to play the game. Let's be clear. Mike McCarthy is not a Zeke fan. I don't blame him. This is Mike McCarthy's second goal. I'm thinking that Zeke was here apart, if I'm not mistaken, of Zeke. But either way, McCarthy didn't want Zeke. He wanted Aaron Jones. And rather than giving him Aaron Jones, Jerry wanted Zeke back. And so it's starting to come out. Jane Slater, again, going savage. She's reporting some of this. She's the one that's breaking the issue about Zeke being absent from meetings, tardy to meetings. And y'all know what? I don't know if the rest is going to come out. It has been said that they actually asked Jane Slater to not reveal the rest that she knew. What else is it? What are we talking about here? What's going on? And all this Rico Dowdle stuff, I was telling y'all from the get-go, it stunk. Rico Dowdle, I'm telling y'all, was not sick. Zeke has been giving this coaching staff the business about him not having a more prominent position on this team. And you can call me crazy all you want to. You know who confirmed it? Jesse Holley. Jesse Holley said the same thing I said. Somebody must have told Zeke what he was going to do. And in telling Zeke what he was going to do, Mike McCarthy don't want Zeke to do it because Mike McCarthy has no confidence in Zeke. Mike McCarthy, number one, he likes to pass the ball. Number two, if anybody's going to run it, he wants it to be Rico Dowdle. He always wanted Dalvin Cook out there, and he also wanted Deuce Vaughn worked into the offense. So how do y'all think that Ezekiel Elliott is actually on this team? It's Jerry Jones. And I'll be honest with you. If you listen to what they've been saying about Zeke, you brought him in to settle down the locker room. You brought him in to be a leader, and he's been everything but that. And even Dak Prescott, if you listen to that press conference, Dak is saying some stuff like, you're thinking we're admitting Ezekiel Elliott into the mental hospital. Man, you know what? I wish I could help. Help what? What do you mean help? What are you wishing you could help, man? This is a personal problem this dude is dealing with. What else is it? But he don't want to get in the middle of it because he knows Zeke is wrong. They said it was a mutual agreement that Zeke stay back. Who cares? He was a healthy scratch. Who cares if you don't come? Do you realize you're not playing? You're not the emergency running back. You're nothing. You're a healthy scratch. Who cares if you don't travel with the team? They're talking about it's a mutual thing. Y'all tell me, in what world, y'all, in what world does the player he gets to decide, since he's not going to play, he's not taking the trip? What? In what world do you do this? No, you're not going to save face with me as it applies to Ezekiel Elliott. Black Kyle Shanahan, what happened to Zeke? I told him stay his butt home. I told him stay home. Oh, they said it was a mutual agreement. No, it wasn't. I made the decision he's not coming with us. Zeke, there are some issues going on with Zeke that we got to resolve. But I made the decision for him to stay home. There was no point in him coming. No, but we're trying to save face for Zeke. You don't believe me? Listen to Jerry Jones.
How difficult was a decision to sit Zeke today?
Well, it was a decision that Zeke understands. And so that's the way he is. And he's one of the best team men. He's one of the best workers that I've ever been around. And he was just that and has been that. And that was unconditionally a result of him being late for meetings.
Jerry, if you're not dismayed,
But I'm not disappointed in him.
What? Wait. So he went from great teammate. Stop it, Jerry. Because the way he's been carrying on, it's obvious. He's been doing it in front of the players. How are you a great teammate if I'm watching you give him privileges of being late? You're giving him privileges of missing the meetings. And we know this is rubbing people the wrong way. And I'm telling y'all, Rico Dowdle, you can't convince me otherwise. Rico Dowdle just finally said, I don't want to be in this. Oh, I'm not going to play today. How much y'all bet that Zeke was raising sand? How much y'all bet? This is the stuff that Zeke has been doing behind the scenes. He's been everything but a leader. And guess who's taking up for him? The same person that brought him in when Mike McCarthy didn't want him. Now, it don't matter to me. We can talk about washed and not being washed, and that conversation means absolutely nothing to me. But I'm just going to tell you how it is with me. If you're my coach, you're my coach. And if you tell me you don't want a certain player on this team, I'm not bringing that player on this team unless that player is an absolute super stud. And I'm like, man, you are out of your mind. We're bringing Derrick Henry on this team. If it's Derrick Henry, you don't want Hassan Reddick? I'm sorry, Mike. You're going to have to find a way to work with Hassan Reddick. We're bringing him on this team. You don't want Ezekiel Elliott? No problem. No problem. I just thought he'd be a good addition for the locker room to help stabilize the locker room, be a part of leadership. I just thought he would be good for that. I'm not going to argue with my head coach over a player that is now at best maybe a 2.75 star player. I'm not doing it. Listen to Jerry gush over Ezekiel Elliott.
I wish that's all I had blemishes on my background.
if you're not dismayed, where does your confidence come from? If you're not dismayed,
I've just been around this game all this time, and I've seen it look real dark, and then I've seen it come from there into some really something that, frankly, you can be proud of. I would go as far as to say that it's either knowing or experiencing a downtime like we are right now, what makes it so sweet when it works. And I believe in that. As a matter of fact, it's why I'm here, because the game and my whole life taught me how to really.
Y'all got to help me out. What in the world is Jerry Jones talking about?
Look for the best, be positive, and that's what the game has meant in my life. That's why I'm here. That's why I bought the Cowboys.
Jerry, what'd you say to the team,
You might
Jerry?
do something this week.
Y'all help me out. What is going on with this? Who allows a player? It's disrespectful to the team for Ezekiel Elliott to be late. It's disrespectful for the team for Zeke to miss meetings. It's disrespectful for him to be openly challenging the coaches on his position, his role on the team, because the upstairs guys are basically trying to override Mike McCarthy. This is crazy. I'm blown away. You're fully confident in Mike, but then you're undermining his decision on dealing with Ezekiel Elliott. And you're saying that Zeke, he understands what's going on. What do you mean he understands? He's the one that's committing the infraction. This is crazy talk. This is literal crazy talk. We don't want to hear about Ezekiel Elliott being a good guy. I'm pretty sure the majority of NFL guys are good guys. I don't want to hear about him being a good guy. I don't. I just want you to answer the question. Okay, why did you decide to sit him down? Okay, disciplinary issues. Okay, got you. I don't need you to plead his case of his character. He's not on trial. We just want to know what's going on with Ezekiel Elliott, because the reason why you bought him here. Y'all, Zeke hasn't lived up to what he was bought here for. Zeke came here feeling entitled. And Mike McCarthy didn't like it one stinking bit. He didn't like it one stinking bit. And I think this is one of the battles that is going on between Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones, and they're both sitting here denying it. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. And so I just don't understand this whole thing with Jerry and his affinity for Ezekiel Elliott. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. Yep, Nisi, you're right. He's played in 3 different systems. Do not bring back Mike McCarthy. Andre? Jerry's a walking contradiction. The Dallas Cowboy fans better prepare themselves. This man is talking crazy. You hit it right on the head, Mark. I've had a good experience with it. However, you got rid of Jimmy after 2 chips. Man, the Lulu. Make it make sense, Mark. Make it make sense, man. Dementia kicks in while crack. Man, I'm telling y'all, this is crazy work, man. This is crazy work. Hey, Jerry's a walking contradiction. He contradicts Mike McCarthy in the same interview. I mean, you have to go back and listen to it. He's talking about we could have won that game. It was a winnable game. You know who lost that game for you? The same coach who you said got a lot of fire in his belly. He ain't got a lot of play on that call. He ain't got a lot of plays on that call sheet. Because you tell me it's 14-10, the game is within reach, the Atlanta Falcons are really doing nothing to show you that they're going to take a commanding lead in the game. All you got to do is let Mike Zimmer keep cooking. That's all you have to do. Let him keep cooking. Bend and don't break. You get the score to, you could have got the score to 17-10. 21-10 was a backbreaker. And that's why your quarterback, partially why he's out now. It's just crazy. Jerry be tweaking just to be talking about nothing, man. He does. It's Jerry and AI. Man, I was actually a little bit surprised, I got to admit to you. Because when Jerry brought up, did y'all catch that he made a reference in the Herschel Walker trade? He made a reference to Jimmy Johnson? That was Jimmy Johnson he was talking about. How bad it was when Jimmy first started. And Jimmy went in there and won a couple? He has to be talking about Jimmy Johnson. This man is literally in the past. He said Jerry is the crib keeper. Jerry is the coach. He probably told Mike, here are the plays you need to call. You know what, Niecy? I think he's coming right short of that. Jerry has been putting Zeke in the game plan ever since after that Pittsburgh game. Clarence Hill reported that Zeke went to the coaching staff. But I'm going to hit y'all with one even worse. Zeke had already been clowning. He been clowning the whole time he been here. Who knows what is really going on with this? It is crazy nonsense. That's having a manufacturer issues. Andre says, I like the Cowboys, but I'm getting tired of them. They just don't make good decisions. It's just wearing on me. It wears on us all. It wears on us all. But you know what? I'm gonna continue to cheer the players. We know Jerry's a liar because his lips are moving. I'm just going to keep cheering the players, man. That's all I can do. Sabotage at its best. I don't know any other way to explain it. McCarthy game adjustments are to take away what works. Every single time. Every single time. I'm telling you, I talked about the Kansas City Chiefs game this morning. A guy was on yesterday and he said Rico started slow. Kareem Hunt started extremely slow. But they kept on slamming Kareem Hunt and slamming Kareem Hunt and slamming Kareem Hunt into that into that defensive line. Guess what happened when they didn't score a single touchdown in the third quarter? They scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and 1 touchdown in overtime. And all of that can be attributed to Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt was killing it. They have been the most undisciplined team in the league for the last 3 years. 100% correct. It's sad. You're right, Confident. It's sad. It's a traveling circus. It is. It is. Adam near the top in penalties every year. He's been in the mid-20s every single year. He's never went below the 20s. Man, I want to put hands in the Jerry. Steve the Big Mike, it doesn't make sense. Man, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Y'all tell me this. Appreciate you, Jay Rosas. Y'all tell me this. I'm not going to jump to who's going to be the coach of this team yet because Jerry has already said he's not going to get rid of him. But I want to ask y'all this question. Why would anybody want to coach the Dallas Cowboys? Why would they want to? This is what you're going to have to put up with if you're going to be the Dallas Cowboy coach. I never thought I'd see the day. Do y'all know Jerry absolutely broke Bill Parcells? Jerry broke Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells couldn't even put up with Jerry, man. He couldn't do it. And we keep talking about Bill Belichick. I don't even understand that conversation. I said it this week, I said it at the end last. I'm sorry, if Bill Belichick comes here, there's going to have to be a contract drawn up between him and Jerry. Because Jerry's not going to let a coach fully coach the way that he needs to. But the problem that I have with Mike McCarthy is I still say the part that Mike McCarthy can control, he's not controlling it. Jane Slater, that's my girl. She doesn't care. She's savage. She's savage. That's a major problem. He undermines the head coach all the time. McCarthy don't want Zeke. Parcells didn't want T.O. Jerry did it anyway. What did T.O. get us? He got people in the seats. He got people watching. T.O. said, get your popcorn. We weren't interested in popcorn. We were interested in trophies. Didn't do nothing. Zeke was a more disciplined player in New England. I'm shocked. He comes from New England. But I'm telling you, sometimes you got to be careful. Y'all ever notice what happened when you take your grandkids to the grandparents' crib and you got them fully under control and fully disciplined? They don't play on the couch. They don't run around the house. They don't be going all up in the refrigerator eating what they want to. They don't be running in and out the front door playing and doing whatever they want to do. Because they know what's going to happen. They do that at home. They so disciplined. You ever notice what they do when they get to grandmama's house? They ruling the crib. You in there gritting your teeth. You trying to tell them what to do, and they know you ain't gonna whoop me in front of grandma. I'm gonna whoop you when you get home, though. They don't care. You get somebody around people with no discipline, you expect discipline? You'll get that from some of us. I was always a disciplined child. I just wasn't that tight, but I had family members. They still act up when you gave them a whooping. What you think they gonna do with people who ain't got no discipline? They gonna drive them nuts. This all started with Barry Switzer, I'm telling y'all. It all started with Barry Switzer. Robert said, I said they should have called his bluff when Zeke held out with 2 years left on his contract. I wish it had been me. He'd had to get an apartment in Cabo. He'd had to get an apartment in Cabo because I never would have bought him back. Yep, Big Nacho says LOL's workers, but to JJ, man, that's crazy, isn't it, man? I don't even understand why he said he was a great. I don't believe the worker part. He brought in the Cowboys. He bought the Cowboys because he's a selfish control freak. Look at me. I'm a bag of chips with dip. I get to do it. But you know what I appreciated about Jerry? But he let Jimmy do the football stuff. But the problem is when he got what he wanted, he was done. Moses parted the sea. Zeke got 3 yards. Buddha said, I'm sure Zeke missed meetings on being late. It's been the norm when you're winning. It's the first time he's doing it when they're losing. Crazy. Jerry's got a crazy locker room. And that's why I said it this week and I say it again. Mike McCarthy did not lose the locker room. Jerry did. You know how I know Jerry lost the locker room? Y'all name the GM. Maybe I just don't know this stuff because I follow the Cowboys so closely. Can y'all name the GM that comes out of the locker room and gives a speech to the team after losing and steps out the locker room and say, I'll take questions now? What? Crazy. Crazy work. Crazy work. I don't understand it. And I want to reach back as I finish these last two issues. I want to look back at Dak's injury. And now my spidey senses are tingling about Dak's injury. Because one thing I know about Dak Prescott, he doesn't like a lot of talk. He's out there in the media listening to stuff. And James Jones, who I highly respect, he played for the Green Bay Packers when they went 10-6, wild card team, won the Super Bowl. James Jones has said that Dak Prescott quit on the Dallas Cowboys because he went on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. You know, Niecy, somebody asked him, they said, why is he so emotional? He didn't break down in tears, but they asked him, why is he so emotional? I'm not buying it. Jerry is a big show. Joseph Terrell said it took 30 years to build the pyramids, yet the Cowboys still not done. Man. Niecy said, Steven stopped giving Jerry his man-see soft ring pill. Mike said, IHOP menu. That's what my son told me the other day. He said, I've been saying since Jason Garrett, if they coach the Cowboys, you know for a fact they are a puppet. That's why I keep saying, who want to coach this team? Who wants to coach this team without a contract, Mark? Who wants to? Pretty sure I'm the one who coined Captain Clap. Who wants to coach this team, man? I don't understand who would. Yep, Romo effed that up. Let me tell you. Romo was another Jerry's boy. He loved him some Romo. He did. What's up, Chris? Appreciate the 1999 super chat. He says, why haven't Dallas put in Ryan Flournoy? Chris, they got me wondering, why did they get this Jonathan Mingo if you have Ryan Flournoy? What in the world? Nobody sees it. Chris says nobody sees it. But Jerry Jones is tired of being GM, but he won't admit it to himself, and that's the truth. You know what, Chris? I'm gonna say something. I don't know if y'all ever been in that type of situation. You're the man or the woman. You're the one who's doing a certain thing. You don't want to do it no more. Or better yet, you know you're not good at it anymore. And you can see people's faces. You can hear the noise. People are complaining about you. But your pride won't let you relinquish the job. And in a lot of cases, that's why you typically have to take that job from that person. But the problem is this. I want y'all to tell me if y'all have noticed this. Have y'all noticed since the Dak Prescott deal, you don't hardly ever see or hear from Stephen Jones? Stephen Jones seemed to be taking the front seat for a while. And I was like, okay, Jerry's about to decrease and Stephen's about to increase. And we saw after the Dak Prescott deal. And really after the CeeDee Lamb deal. And then you start hearing Jerry say stuff like, the buck stops with me. Nobody gets a deal done like me. What happened? Now, Stephen ain't no better than Jerry. Stephen ain't no better than Jerry. Andre says like Donald Trump going to be the next president. Let me tell you something, Andre. I seen this story before. I don't care what it look like. Until we wake up tomorrow, until we wake up tomorrow and Thursday, no, I wouldn't be saying anything about who's going to be the next president until maybe Thursday. Jerry is Kamala. Nancy says Al Davis. Yep. Al Davis was literally the GM on his deathbed. Al Davis that dude didn't give it up. Mark, I'd never coach without a contract. Give me a deal or let me walk. Now, Mark, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I don't know if you heard me the other day. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Me and Jerry, if I'm the coach, we're going to have a prenuptial agreement. Yeah, we're going to have a prenuptial agreement. And the agreement is, Mark, I take care of all football stuff, period. End of story. You don't get to make no football decisions. You don't get to tell me who to play. You don't get to tell me who not to play. You don't deal with the suspensions. You don't deal with nothing as it pertains to personnel on the field. Only me. You're going to let me have a hand. I'm not taking over the draft, but you're going to let me get a say-so in who we draft. You're going to let me have a say-so in a trade, and you're going to at least give me one trade per season. One trade per season, and you're at least going to give me one person in free agency. And we'll work all of that into the salary cap. That's what I'm doing with Jerry Jones. That's what I'm doing, Mark. And I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to put this part in there. And if you violate this, I get the option of walking away from this team, full salary, plus you're going to pay me 2 more years for wasting my time and being and having the opportunity to leave here and go somewhere else. Oh, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna put it down, bro. I'm not coming here like these other clown coaches. I'm not coming here like Mr. Clapp. I'm not coming here like Mike McCarthy. And someone said it in the chat earlier. It's hard to find a yes man like Mike McCarthy. I mean, he may be trying to push back, a little bit against Jerry Jones. He ain't pushing hard enough. Jerry trying to wear him out in the public eye. I'm wearing him out in the public eye. Oh, it wasn't my decision to bring Zeke here. I'm gonna wear him out. It never was my decision to bring Zeke here. Keep on playing with me, Jerry. Keep on playing. Niecy said, get a prenup and a post-up agreement. I'm telling you, don't forget those breach of contract clauses. I'm gonna tear him up. Bill Belichick, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I think Jerry might want Bill Belichick. And if he wants Bill Belichick holds all the cards. Only thing, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm not going to let Bill Belichick do. One, you have to bring Josh McDaniels. Terrible head coach, dynamic play caller under Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick can control him. Because you can't let him bring in Bill O'Brien. Your whole team will be destroyed. I'm not letting you pick your defensive coordinator unless it's somebody we can both agree on. Because Bill Belichick has some baggage, and he likes to bring some of his coaches with him. I can't remember that Bill Belichick. Who was this guy that Bill Belichick brought in? He was the head coach. He was the head coach for the Detroit Lions, I think, before Dan Campbell. And they said he went over there trying to be Bill Belichick, ain't even got no skins on the wall. Let me see. Head coach. What's his name? Matt Patricia? Y'all tell me if I'm right if it's Matt Patricia. You couldn't bring Matt Patricia in here for nothing in the world for me. Zimmer is responsible for the current scheme, even if those aren't his guys. It's up to him to adjust the scheme. Minnesota got rid of him for a reason. Robert, I'm gonna defend him, though. I tell you what he has been doing. With what he has and all those injuries, Zimmer gets better every week. Every week he gets better. And so I'm cool with Mike Zimmer this year. I'm cool with Mike Zimmer. Thank you for your show. Much needed. Hey, man, I'm here for the Cowboy fans. I'm telling you. Matt Patricia. Yep, I wouldn't let that joker near my facility. And I'm definitely not letting Bill Belichick bring his son as my defense coordinator. That's the only thing I'm not going to give up with Bill Belichick. But I think Bill Belichick, if they let him, he could do his thing. Mark said, I won't disagree with that surface point, but he does deserve some type of grace. Scheme change, injuries, personnel. It's not all on him. They couldn't stop the run last year and they dropped the talent. You talking about Mike Zimmer? Oh, no, Mark, I've been defending him. I've been defending Mike Zimmer, man. I gave him a game ball. Mike Zimmer did exactly what his assignment was. Stop the run. Stop the run. It's not his fault that Trayvon Diggs is playing poor technique. Went under a bunch receiver set rather than going over the top, giving them an easy touchdown. That wasn't on Mike Zimmer. That's on Trayvon Diggs. Zimmer has been doing his thing, man. I'm with him. I'm with Zimmer. Zimmer has been doing the opposite of Mike McCarthy. Zimmer has been doing more with less. He's not complaining about the injuries. Every week, he puts his head in the book. He puts his head in the film. He comes back with a game plan, and you can tell Mike Zimmer is not in on the plan of the soft rebuild. Not Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer out there, man, he like R. Kelly, man. He coaching for his life out there, man. Mike Zimmer is saying something. Man, I might want to coach another year or two. Man, coaching for his life out there. Jerry Jones out there playing with this man's livelihood. Because I think, I'll be honest with you, I mean, Mike McCarthy, nothing to do with Jerry Jones. Mike McCarthy is done in the coaching world, if you ask me. Unless he bring that Texas coach back, ain't nobody bringing Mike McCarthy on their team with this doggone old school 30-year-old antiquated West Coast offense. They're just not doing it. Hey, man, Mark, I'd be willing to give Zim another year with some players, man. I'd be willing to get this dude another year with some players. Because Zimmer going to do his thing, man. Now, with Zimmer, here's what you're not going to get. You're not going to get a lot of turnovers with Mike Zimmer. You know why? Mike Zimmer's not like Dan Quinn. Trayvon Diggs works extremely well in the Dan Quinn plan. You know why? Jump routes, peek in the backfield, take chances. I mean, that's what Dan Quinn likes. Everybody run to the ball. Everybody, we got to get a turnover, strips, whatever we got to do. The goal is not necessarily the tackle. The goal is to get everybody to the ball. And if we get everybody to the ball, we either get a turnover or we get a tackle or we get both with a strip sack or we get both with a strip. That's Dan Quinn. Now, Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer says nothing deep, nothing cheap. Keep everything in front of you. You're not going to get the turnovers, but you're not going to get a lot of high-scoring games. The game that got away from us was the Detroit Lion games. And if you remember, Eric Kendricks was out. Eric Kendricks is his man. He's the quarterback of the defense, and it looked like the quarterback was missing. So Mike Zimmer, oh no, I give him another year. I would. I like what Mike Zimmer's been doing. Quinn was a pressure guy. Yep. So quarterbacks rushed at times, opening up for the corners. Yep. They didn't have to cover the same way they do with Mike Zimmer. That's why with Mike Zimmer, got to be a show enough cornerback. It's going to require some technique. You're going to have to do a little bit of chase. You're going to have to do a little bit of chasing with Zim, man. You're going to do a little bit of chasing. Now, every so often, Zim will throw in a little wrinkle on you. He might send a safety. He might send a linebacker. He might send that DN like he was doing. You know, he'll do a couple of little stunts. He'll do some of those things. But for the most part, Zim is going to call a game plan. You don't have to worry about it. The game not going to get away from you. Y'all think about this. Think about this. Take away from the Atlanta Falcon game. Take this away. Y'all take away that fake. Hold on a second. Watch this. Just look at this. Take away the 7 points that came off the fake punt in that game. Tell me what the score is. Tell me what the score is, y'all. Did Mike Zimmer lose that game? Or did Mike McCarthy and Fossil give it away? Because we can't blame Mike Zimmer. Y'all tell me this. What else can you ask from Mike Zimmer? Do y'all know that Mike Zimmer almost held the Atlanta Falcons to 20 points? Look right here. You know where that 7 points came from? That 7 points came from that stupid fake punt. Well, of course they scored. You broke the wheel of the team because this defense, when you give them that short field, I mean, you got everybody reeling now. Take away that dumb fake punt. Look at what Mike Zimmer did. Mike Zimmer, minus that one debacle, they don't score another touchdown in the second half. That's Mike Zimmer. Bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. I'll make them kick field goals. You take that away, it's a ball game. I'm confident that the Cowboys win that game. Rico Dowdle was starting to come on. They would have just kept feeding him the ball. They don't get in a rush. I mean, everything's cool. That fake punt was the turning point in that game. It was a turning point. That's why I blame Mike McCarthy. I blame Mike McCarthy for that, even the Dak thing. I don't even think we get to that run and play with Dak Prescott if Mike McCarthy doesn't do that fake punt. And now they're playing for their lives. And he just keeps running the ball. I don't think they're in that situation. I think the Cowboys win that game, and we're not having any of these conversations. Just like in the San Francisco game. If Rico Dowdle don't get sick, and they run the ball with Rico Dowdle in that third quarter, I got news for us. Do y'all know we're having an entirely different conversation? I believe the Dallas Cowboys are 5-3 if Mike McCarthy sticks with the run against the San Francisco 49ers. If Rico Dowdle plays, because I think that Zeke nonsense is what made Rico Dowdle say, I'm not playing, I'm not going to be in this arguing, it's dumb. Rico Dowdle plays that game. Rico Dowdle plays this game the way he did, play that game the way he did. We're talking 5-3. Zim been doing his thing, y'all. And you take away some of them turnovers by Dak Prescott. Zim has been doing his thing. They don't have these short fields. Mark said, I haven't seen a good fake special teams play under McCarthy. I can't remember one either. Add that on top of the penalties, the clock issues in the clutch, and the general play calling in situational football. It's hard not to. All his fault. All him. It's all him. It's the coaching on this team. That's why I'm reserving judgment of, is this team really that bad? Or is it just Mike McCarthy ain't coaching? And then, Niecy, we're talking out of both sides of our mouth. Because just what going on with the Ezekiel Elliott thing, we know that Jerry Jones is meddling in the personnel. He's meddling in the personnel. And if I'm not mistaken, they said that with Jerry Jones, well, everybody has to hand their play sheet. I mean, they have to hand the game plan into Jerry Jones. Why? What am I handing? What is he looking at? Are we telling me that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones know the football language so good that they're looking at the X's and the O's and going, looks like a good game plan? Y'all haven't noticed that Jerry Jones has been saying stuff like, we thought we had a game plan that can beat him. How did you know you had a game plan that could beat him? Did they explain to you what they were doing, or did they give you the play sheets? This is crazy. My problem with McCarthy is he's just not controlling the parts that he can control. You control the plays. Even if Jerry tells you he wants Zeke to run this or run, you get to call the plays, though. You can't convince me Jerry's that smart. You just can't convince me. Yeah, allegedly sick, Mark. I don't believe it for a second. I was telling people the whole time, I don't believe it for a second. How do we slow down the Eagles? We're going to talk about that tomorrow, because that's going to lead me into the next conversation that I want to have, but I don't have the time for it. But tomorrow, we're going to get into the conversation. It's going to be hump day. There ain't no more use in talking about what happened with the Atlanta Falcons, y'all. It's spilled milk now. We ain't cleaning that up. Atlanta Falcon game, gone down the drain. Nisa said, stop it now. He's cheating work. Mark said, Jerry wants his guys to play. Yep. And that's why, if you think about what this team is at this juncture of the season, I'm sorry, any other team would cut Zeke. They'd cut him. Because what is he contributing to the team in the grand scheme of things? Cut him. We get a great Cooper Rush game. Cooper Rush wants to go out here and show out. Watch what I tell you, Andre. They're gonna dumb the game down. They're gonna dumb it down for Cooper Rush. Zimmer's gonna go in his bag on him. Guess what? I'm hearing Michael Parsons may play this week. Deron Bland, if it's not this week, it'll be next week. You're going to see some people getting healthy on defense. And watch what Zimmer going to do. Zimmer's going to go in that bag. Mike McCarthy, they're going to try. But wait, hold on. I'm going to bring in Jerry Jones's interview, and all of us may be shocked. Because from what Jerry Jones is saying in this interview, it looks like Trey Lance is going to be out here too. Trey Lance is going to be out here while Dak Prescott is gone. Jerry likes him some Trey Lance too. Jerry wants to be proven right by about Trey Lance. Trey Lance is going to be on this field for the Dallas Cowboys. If it's not this game, it'll be the next one. You're going to see Trey Lance while Dak is out. And I think based on what James Jones is running around, I hope that don't get any traction. And I hope people destroy James Jones for dare saying that because Dak Prescott is out with a hamstring. I hope they destroy him for saying that. But I got a feeling Dak Prescott is on injured reserve. Dak Prescott will be back off of injured reserve. And Dak Prescott will probably play again this season. Especially if the Cowboys beat the Eagles. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. We're going to talk about it this week. But I think the Eagles is a winnable game. All Mike got to do is call the right game plan. Just call the right game plan. Run the ball 40 times. Run the ball 40 times. I'm going to do the research tonight. Y'all get ready. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show y'all. I think they said Parsons is playing. He must need to take one Park, New Jersey. Oh, man, you killing me. You killing me. I'm going to do some research tonight. And I'm going to show y'all this mythological Cooper Rush run. I'm going to show y'all what he looked like in those games. I'm going to show you his stats. I'm going to show you what the defense looked like. You're going to see that he's actually not a unicorn. I don't know why people think he's a unicorn that nobody wants. I'm sorry. Everybody wants a unicorn if they can get one. I'm going to show y'all. Jerry also wanted to draft Trey Lance. He used to play safety just like that one quarterback we converted to safety. I'm surprised he didn't already have him on the field. But I think Jerry today was talking about that there's going to be a Trey Lance sighting. There's going to be a Trey Lance sighting in this joint. And I think it's going to be sooner than later. They're going to get him in before Dak get back. So that's going to do it for me, guys. That's going to be my time. I appreciate all of y'all rocking with me. Appreciate the super chat again. Let me go back up here again. Super chat. Who was that? That was, appreciate you. Chris DeVault. Appreciate the love. Thank you for supporting the show. I'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Two shows. We're trying to get this thing to 2,000 to 3,000 over the next month. We're gonna keep doing 2 shows until I can't do it no more. So tomorrow's Wednesday. We're still gonna probably do 2 shows. They'll be a little bit shorter. Of course, I gotta go do Bible study. Gotta still serve the Lord. But I'm gonna do 2 shows tomorrow, 2 shows Thursday, 2 shows Friday. If I don't do 2 shows tomorrow, definitely 2 shows Thursday, 2 shows Friday. But I'll definitely be back tomorrow around noon. So if y'all got time, make sure you rock with me. Let your friends know. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So you know the next time Let's Talk Cowboys post another video where we talk facts. Peace.